this is Steve here with Brewers Anonymous. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the Gigawort, which is the electric brew kettle that is currently on offer from Northern Brewer. Some of you folks might remember that a few weeks ago I went ahead and did a review of the Gigawort itself after borrowing it for a couple of weeks from my friend Graziani. The Gigawort gives you the ability to go ahead and brew a half batch of beer in the course of just a couple of hours with very little equipment and very little setup which is required. The Gigawort itself actually retails for about $215 from Northern Brewer. Until recently, it had been out of stock. The Gigawort came out for release back in, I think, January or so, and immediately sold out quickly. Since then, the price has gone up about $15 to $20, but really, for the system that you're getting here, it's not that bad. So went ahead and ordered this guy up on Sunday afternoon after it went back on sale. Graziani made a post and I was all excited about it, so I decided to finally jump in and get it. So ordered it Sunday and here it is Thursday afternoon and it has arrived. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and unbox the system. We'll talk about some of the features and how the system itself works. And then we'll go ahead and follow up with just a little bit of a review of some of the components that go along with it. So this is the actual box itself. It came from Northern Brewer directly through UPS. When it shipped, it actually came inside of another cardboard box, so it's very kind of nondescript. And so this is the nice, beautiful box itself, kind of displays and showcases the actual device itself. Pretty much really good for a retail environment. One half, there's the other. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So when we first open the box, you end up getting a nice little styrofoam cover on top here. And there's a little bag here. This appears to be an Easy Clean valve kit. From the looks of it, it's a weldless bulkhead with a hose barb and just your standard run-of-the-mill hose ball valve. So kind of straightforward. We'll look at that in depth in a few minutes. Go ahead and take the foam off, start diving a little bit deeper, and I can actually see the electric brewer itself. We'll use the handles here and we'll lift this guy out. Alright, so some of you folks might remember in my review that I talked about the black stainless steel that this is constructed of. Here you're going to see it in just a moment as we pull the cover off. You can see the finish on this thing is absolutely incredible. Now, if you remember in my review though, I talked about how much of a pain in the ass this is to clean. It is very difficult to get clean and to get spotless like this again. So take a moment when you first get your Gigawort and just admire it because it probably won't look the same again after your first batch. Essentially what I ended up having to do is use a wet rag combined with a dry microfiber cloth to be able to go ahead and wipe it down and clean it up. You had to do this in segments, so you pretty much wipe it with the wet and then immediately wipe it with the black microfiber. And that was the best way I was able to find to clean this thing without using any kind of harsh chemicals or polishes. So when we look at the actual brewer itself, we have the cover, which again is made out of the same nice black finished stainless steel. And then when we get inside here, you can actually take a look inside here and we'll include some pictures. When you look inside here and you can see that there's some nice graduated markings starting at about 1.5 gallons going up to 4 gallons. Remember that this is a 4.4 gallon brewer. So some of the symbols and the markings don't actually go up much higher, but we have pushed the volumes on it before. Down here you have the computer. If you are familiar with the RoboBrew or the Grainfather, this computer is honestly pretty much the same thing. I'm sure if you were to go ahead and take it apart, you'd find the exact same guts right inside of it. On the side over here you have your switches. You have the 1600 watt element and 600 watt element selection button here, as well as the on-off switch here for the actual brewer itself. Now, for anybody that read the review that I had posted, you probably saw me talking about what's referred to as an E4 error. This E4 error was essentially a run dry protection error. This run dry protection error is there in place so that way if for any reason you were to run out of actual liquid inside of the brewer itself, you'll go ahead and turn the brewer off and put it into a self-protect mode, kind of like a limp home mode. And in that sense, you have to kind of reset the actual device itself. So when you look at the bottom of this, you're going to see that there's just a very random pin. It's not labeled. You only know about this if you run into the error or if you actually read the instructions. Essentially what you need to do is unplug the unit and then go ahead and press and hold this pin for about 5 to 10 seconds. Once that 5 to 10 second period is up, you can then go ahead and plug the unit back in. And you can go ahead and continue with your brew process. On our second brew that we did, we ended up brewing a Rogan beer, and this beer ended up producing a lot of trouble. And so we didn't realize it, but the chub had actually scorched the bottom of the Gigawort itself, causing this run dry protection error to pop up. After resetting about 5 or 6 times, we finally got it to a point where we got it through our entire brew cycle and we were done with it. So if you ever do run into this issue, it's certainly something that you want to keep in mind as far as where you're setting this up. For us, thankfully, we have a nice granite countertop, so this was able to slide back and forth really easy. Just remember that when this is full of wort, you're going to have a little bit of extra weight to it. So you want to make sure that when you position it in a place that's actually relatively able or safe for you to be able to move it forward so you can get to this button. As you can see, getting to that button can be really difficult, especially when it's full of hot wort. So that's the outside of the actual Gigawort itself, and now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and dive into the goodies that came in the bag here. Well, it looks like we just have our standard ball valve. Everybody's familiar with these. This is one of those ball valves that has a little bit of a safety on it. So you got to slide it up a little bit so that way you can go ahead and open and close it, just to pretty much prevent anybody from unwanting to knock this or bump into it accidentally, causing it to open. Here is the bulkhead. The bulkhead will go ahead and actually slip right into here. This is what's referred to as a flush mount bulkhead, and it's got a nice rubber O-ring right inside of it here, so that way you get a nice firm seal. This is something that the Gigawort that I actually tested did not have, so I'm kind of excited to see how this works. But this is a dip tube. This dip tube essentially connects to the back of the bulkhead and allows you to be able to actually get the last bit of work right up from the bottom of the actual brewer itself. When we used it, we didn't have the dip tube, so we ended up having to just kind of pour it and tilt it forward a little bit for us to be able to get all the wort out of it. And then it looks like it comes with a hose bar. I'm probably going to end up replacing this hose bar with maybe a cam lock, because I have some really nice cam lock fittings as well as a Blickman Engineering temperature probe, so that way I can go ahead and monitor the wort temperature as it comes out. I don't know, we'll get to that in a little bit, but this is one of those nice size bulkheads, so I can go ahead and put some of that high temperature silicone hose on this and just put it so that way it pours right into the fermenter. So, I don't know, we'll make a decision on that as we go ahead and use this guy. And lastly, it looks like it comes with some thread tape for you, so that way when you go ahead and put this all together, you can make a nice clean seal. So that really wraps up everything I have to say about the Gigawort here. What I definitely would like to do is make a video as we go through a brew day here eventually, just to kind of show you how the actual unit itself works. But for now, that's pretty much the unboxing of the actual Gigawort. And I do want to also say, before I wrap up, that Northern Brewer is really cool. When I bought this, I was in such a rush to buy it. I was so excited to check out and make sure that we got it, because I knew that they were very low on stock, that I completely missed a promo. So I noticed immediately after checking out that they were giving away a Dark Star version 2 burner for any purchases that were over $200. Being that this came in at $214.99, the Dark Star burner was a qualifying purchase. So within a couple minutes of ordering it, I ended up calling up Northern Brewer, and I spoke to a great guy over there by the name of Matt, and he ended up hooking me up with the Dark Star burner after the fact, even though I had already checked out. So right now, they're not offering the Dark Star burner, even though it's only been a couple of days, but they are currently offering 20% off. So if you use the promo code FLASH20, you'll get 20% off of any purchase of $30 or more and free shipping. So I highly encourage you to go check them out today. get your hands on one of these and get back to brewing. So with that, cheers.